Yep, mic check, 1, 2. Mic check. Microphone check, 1, 2.
Questions, Coach?
Yeah, I just want to say a great crowd today. Skull Session was rocking, and a great crowd. So what a great way to start the season. And then also, again, just another shout out to Archie Griffin. I said it during the ceremony. You talk about the impact that a person's made in his life, and they've been playing college football a long time. There's only one two-time Heisman Trophy winner, and that's Archie Griffin. But to me, and I didn't get a chance to see him play, but I did get a chance to see the impact he made off the field with people in the community, with charities, and just have so much respect for what he's done on the field, but also off the field. And he's a great role model for our team. So congrats to him on his recognition this weekend.
We're going to open up questions over to the left. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Ryan, until you see Will Howard in action in the shoe, you don't know exactly. Yeah. Now you have a much better idea. What did you like specifically about what he did? Where's a little area where, okay, we're going to keep working on that?
I'm going to watch the film and kind of make that determination. I thought he had pretty good poise the whole day. He took care of the football other than the one crazy decision there at the end of the half there to try to force something. Actually, he's got to take a deep breath on that. But, for your first start in the shoe, now he is a more experienced guy, but he's in a new offense, in a new environment. I'll say this overall. I felt like early on, the three inside guys, they hadn't played in this, Seth and Austin first start, Tegra, Jeremiah, Will, Quinshon's first time playing here. And I think just across the board, there was just, they were a little uptight early on. I think, they were kind of worked up. And you just saw a couple things off, and we got ourselves off schedule. I thought Chip did a nice job of continually pushing the run. You could see that start to take its effect in the second half. And then I thought we sort of settled in and started to have more fun and kind of, we started to play with a little looser, which is the way we need to play. And I thought we were a little bit uptight early on, and we can't play like that. We got to come out of the gates, playing loose, but I get it. And so we're going to get on the film and grow from there. But for a lot of these guys, it's a start and their first start. So, and then also good to see some younger guys towards the end get in there and play. And those guys are in there like to play. And it's not just to eat up reps. And it's not just to build depth for the future. It's also because there are metrics in play here for the playoffs that we have to make sure that we're, a part of in terms of offense and defense. And so those guys have been told that. And I thought they did go in there and compete towards the end.
Over here to the right, Austin Ward, and then it'll go to Spencer.
Ryan, it seemed like a great coaching decision to let Jeremiah play through those early mistakes there. What did you make of his debut? You tried not to talk about him too much in August, but he ended on a pretty good note.
Yeah. You can see the talent, and like you said, we're going to play right through just about all of it. I think he's another guy. I mean, sometimes you look at him, you don't even think he's quite human, but he is. And, he's going to make a few early mistakes, but not very many. You can see the talent there, and he's going to sleep good tonight, though. I can tell you that. And I think they all need to get some rest tonight. It was a long week. It was a hot week. We practiced really hard. We practiced Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in pads, physical for a reason. And it was hot out there today, but that's good. It was hard, and they'll sleep good tonight, and we'll get back at it tomorrow.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Ryan, kind of off that. Oh, you left. Sorry. You kind of off that. You talk a lot about wanting to see players fight through adversity. What does it say about Jeremiah? It's so young that he's able to put those two plays in the first drive away and still put the day he had together.
Yeah, he's built different. He is just the way his approach is. You can see his size and speed and all that. But typically, somebody with that type of talent doesn't have the discipline, the focus that he does. And so. Nobody even batted an eye. I mean, nobody said a word. Like, it was like, he's just going to play through this and we're going to be fine. It wasn't even a consideration because we see what he does every day in practice, and we knew he was going to settle in.
Over here to the right, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, the run game looked like it was a little, clunky in the first half. How do you grade that, knowing that, like you said, the three guys on the interior were new, and then Quinshon Travion, kind of that duo, but how do you grade the run game today before you watch the film?
Yeah, when I looked at the numbers at halftime, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. I think Trey was averaging 6 yards a carry, and Quinshon was just under 4. And then it looked much better in the second half. I just think there was some things off in there on the interior. Guys, just weren't quite fitting it up right. We weren't that far off. I thought schematically we had some good ideas in what we were doing. And there was a couple runs that maybe we could have hit better at running back. But I just think that we were just not great in the fits early on. And I think you have to ask those guys. They seemed like they were pressing a little bit early on again, but then I thought they really settled in a little bit. I thought Chip called a good game. I really do. I think that, he knows what he wants to get done with this team. He wants to establish this run. And that means, maybe that's not scoring, 70 or whatever, but we need to establish the run late in the season. So we're going to do that. And the quarterback's going to be a part of it. And so I don't know how to grade it. I got to watch the film and see. The good thing is I actually get to watch some of the film during the game now. So I can't just always say I'm going to wait till tomorrow to make a decision. So I did see some of it, and it wasn't all great. It wasn't all bad either, though.
Folks, we're going to do one more question for Coach. I'll do multiple questions for Coach, but one more, and then I'm bringing Lathan Ransom in. I'm sending him to the far back table. So if you have anything on that back table, please clean it off. Over here to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, last year's defense was good in a lot of ways, but didn't create a lot of turnovers, not a lot of sacks. You had a bunch of sacks in the first half. You had the two, scores. How important was it for the defense to do that today?
Yeah, it was great. I thought that, Joe had a pretty good plan of getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand quickly, and that can eliminate the pass rush quickly and tire the front. But I thought our guys did a good job of getting their hands on some stuff and make that adjustment. But then I know we tightened up some coverage a little bit, made them hold on to it a few times, and so then we were able to get home with it. I thought the effort play by Caden Curry was tremendous to come back around, because that wasn't, as I remember it, it wasn't like a sack in the first second or two of the play. I mean, it was a scramble, step up. He was kind of towards the line of scrimmage, and then he retraced back with a great effort play and knocked the ball out. And that's something we talk a lot about when you're talking about turnovers. We did a quick study about the college and the NFL, and one of the big percentage of turnovers is strip sacks on the quarterback, whether he's in the pocket or coming out of the pocket. And that was a great one. And then the other study that we did is just, on fumbles, and how we want to handle those. If we're in tight areas, we want to get on them. If we get them open areas, we're scooping and scoring, and there's an art to that, and we practice that every Tuesday. But then I also thought there was some really good block setup on that play as well. I thought the tip ball, Gabe made a really nice play on the ball. That was just kind of a more athletic play, but ball disruption is something we spent some time on this offseason, and ball security. If we're going to win, these games, we've got to make sure that we're winning the ball security and turnover part of the game. But yeah, anytime you get a defensive score, that's huge. And you could see we were close to in a couple other returns. We're working at it, and we were just a 1 or 2 away. I don't know what Brandon's return yardage was, but you can see there's some potential back there. We got a bunch of guys buying into that, and we were getting there. I mean, it was better today than I remember it in the past. And so we'll keep working on that, because if we can get some special team scores, defensive scores, that can be a huge part of our season.
Over here to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Sonny was ready to be your starting will linebacker. Then he gets thrust into playing that Mike with Cody out. I guess just what stood out to you about him today, and just how impressive it is that he's ready to go do that and be that green dot guy for you in a pinch.
Well, here's a guy who went from safety to linebacker to will, and then had to move to Mike when Cody was down. Hoping to get Cody back next week. We'll see how this week goes, but very impressed with playing his real first game at linebacker in a position that he really hadn't been training at for the majority of spring and fall. He's very conscientious, very smart, and handled that very, very well.
Over to the left, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, how close was Donovan to being available? Just what's his status? And then what led to the switch at punter as well? I know you're planning to start Nick and then switch to Joe.
Yeah. Donnie, he's going to have a full week next week. We plan on him playing next week. If he doesn't, then, that means he has had a setback, but we want to be smart. We know it's a long season. He was, really all over us about getting back, but we're only going to do it when we feel like, the trainers give him the full go on that.
Stephen Means.
I got to hit the punter part.
Yep, my bad.
So going into it, going into last week, I felt like Nick was ahead of Joe. Joe had a much better week of practice leading up to it, significant. And we felt like Joe's experience in the program, being here for a year, was better. We probably could have given Nick one down the stretch there. In hindsight, probably could have done that and should have done that. But we wanted to go with the experienced guy in week one. If Nick can continue to grow and build and learn, then we'll get him in there, because he does have a lot of potential and a big leg. But Joe right now is a little bit more consistent.
Over to the right, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, I know you've got some scrimmages, so you've got at least a walkthrough, but you just didn't call plays for the first time in like 5 years.
How were you out there? How did it feel not calling plays? Were there things that maybe you were able to get to that you didn't necessarily have to do in the past? Like, just walk us through. You've
Yeah, I
been
don't
doing
know.
something for 5 years. So
I don't know what the film will show, but I felt like I was like shaking over there. Like I was like, I think again, Chip is great because Chip knows what he wants to get done. He's got a long-term vision about what he wants to establish, what he wants this offense to look like. And, in my mind, like, I want to score 50 right now and just, but, when you're running the ball, that takes work. You have to work through, what we saw a little bit in the first half. And, when you have younger guys in there and you're pushing through that, I mean, it's not just going to happen overnight. You got to push through those things. He understands that. He's got great experience in that. So, I thought, he did a nice job of, staying poised in there, sticking with what he wanted to get done. There's still a lot of back and forth, in terms of all of us talking during the game. But overall, I thought he called a good game and established what he wants to establish. Let's get that on film. Let's figure out where we go next week.
We're going to do two more for Coach. Over to the left, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sport.
Ryan, defensive line, you guys got a lot of pressure last year, didn't always get home.
Yeah.
5 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, I think is what it is. Just what did you make of those guys and getting to the finish line, so to speak?
Being disruptive or being dominant are two different things, I guess, right? And being somebody who's making sacks and getting TFLs, that's a lot more than being disruptive, and that's what we're looking for, and that's the potential that we have. But one thing again, it's like on offense when you go out there kind of looking for that and pressing for those type of plays, you can get yourself out of whack, and you have to just trust the defense, and you got to trust the technique that Coach Johnson is teaching, and those plays come when you're not pressing. You got to play loose. You got to trust your teammates, and they'll come, and they did today. And some of those plays were just flat out effort. The second part, again, I use Caden for an example. It wasn't the rush move; it was the counter back because someone flushed the pocket and he came from behind. So you never know how that's going to shake. You never know which way the line's going to slide, how deep the drop's going to be. You just got to trust your technique and go. And again, if we can continue on that path of being disruptive in terms of creating TFLs, but being dominant and getting sacks, that can be big.
And final question for Coach Dave Holmes, WSYX.
Ryan, earlier this week you said you make assumptions in camp, and then week 1 you learn maybe you weren't right about everything. I'm curious, looking ahead to week 2, is there something you were surprised by, something you need to work on? What's your assumption as you head into week 2?
I think, again, I'm going to get on it and figure out who graded out champion. Again, for us, grading out a champion is grading over 80%. Figure out what that looks like, in terms of who did, who didn't, really make sure that I'm saying this the right way before I just kind of make assumptions afterwards. But no, I think overall the bottom line coming out of the game is I thought we played hard. I thought that we got into a rhythm in the second half, played looser, played aggressive. I felt we were a little bit uptight early on and pressed a little bit. And that's kind of how I feel. But again, we'll take a look at the film and go from there.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No. Jeremiah, we're going to open up right here. Tim May with Letterman Row.
Hey, Jeremiah, Chris Carter tweeted, "Hey, I dropped my first pass too." And then, as an Ohio State Buckeye, and then got on with it. Just what were your thought patterns there? And did this day go kind of like you maybe dreamed or thought it would?
Not really. I just went on with the week. My coaches prepared me great throughout the week and just scheming things up for me to get the ball. So I just can't say it was only on me, it was on my coaches as well.
Your favorite catch?
Favorite catch? Had to be the deep ball, the one Will threw. So that got to be the best one right now.
Over to the left, Jeremiah, Joey Coffin, Columbus Dispatch.
Jeremiah, on the drop, can you walk us through what happened to it and what was your reaction when you kind of came back to the sideline, just your mentality at that point?
My reaction to dropping the ball was, I don't know. I can't really explain that one. But when I came to the sideline, I was just mad at myself. But, it's football. You play receiver, you go drop the ball. But you can't drop it that much. So, I just moved on, just made a play the next drive. So, that's all.
Over here to the right, Jeremy Birmingham, the podcast.
Hey, JJ, just this experience, all of the build up to today, What was it like for you running out the tunnel the first time with 100,000 people, scoring that first touchdown? Was it what you thought?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a recruit, so I can't see it, been no visit. But actually being out here on the field and playing and getting the full experience of walking out that tunnel was something I would never forget. And I mean, just scoring that first touchdown felt so great, and I just can't thank myself. I just got to thank God and the man above. So that's all.
Over to the left, Andy Anders, 11 Warriors.
You were just asked about the drop. You also had the penalty early on. What in your mentality allows you to bounce back from those mistakes and go make more big plays?
Just move on. I mean, it's football. You got more football to play. You got 4 quarters of football. So just move on. Just keep my head down. Just keep working. That's all.
Over here to the right, Andy Backstrom, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Jeremiah, it looked like you and Will were on the same page pretty much all day today. Just where is your chemistry at with Will right now, and what's it like catching passes from him?
Our chemistry is going very good right now. I mean, just something we built during practice, and we just go continue to build on that, and it's going to get even better for sure.
Over here to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, the Athletic.
Jeremiah, during camp, we asked you if you knew about the hype surrounding you. You said, yeah. This is like NFL receivers come in and out of this program so much. For you to do what you did today, your first college debut, just what was that like? And did you feel any extra pressure knowing kind of the outside hype around you?
Pressure? No, I don't really feel pressure. I just want to go out there and play football and win and play football and win games. So I mean, I know all the hype around me was crazy coming in, and I just wanted to come in and be a guy, just work and just not be about all hype. So I mean, just want to impress my coaches, impress my peers around me and my teammates. So that's all.
Over here to the right, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Jeremiah, 2-part question. First of all, how do you try to slow yourself down when things are flying around you, the energy, the environment is crazy? And secondly, what are you working on in your game right now, actively trying to get better at?
How I slow myself down, just listen to my coaches. I mean, really, Coach Hartline, he told me to calm down. The experience is very crazy for me. Got my freshman, so I mean, and what I'm working on right now, just just getting better each and every day. Really, just working on my footwork with Coach Hartline. I mean, just trying to find more things to get better at in my game. That's all.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. No, you good? Oh, Jeff Gilbert, Press Pros.
Jeremiah, back to the early mistakes. Would you stay in the game? Coaches trust you to we're not taking him out. We trust him. He's going to play through. What's it mean to you for the coaches at this stage of your career to have that trust that you're going back out there and they're not even yelling at you or anything?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't say. I just feel like I think I built that during practice. I mean, I feel like they trust me a lot to, knowing I made a mistake, that they know I'm going to bounce back from it. So, I mean, it's just the trust in them that they have in me to go out there and continue playing football and make plays.
Couple more plays for Jeremiah. Jake Trotter, ESPN.
Yeah, Jeremiah, you got to go back to 1996, the last time a freshman here caught 2 touchdown passes in a debut. How can you build off this performance going forward?
I could build on it by just, not dropping the ball. I mean, I feel like I had a better game. I just made mistakes and just continue to work and just get better each and every day.
And final question, front row here, Stephanie Ote, 97.1 The Fan.
So there's always lots of pressure when you're new to Ohio State. I think to Justin Fields, when he went, I think it was till week 8 where he had an interception. And he told me it was a relief that it finally came just to get it out of the way. Was getting that drop so early on almost a relief?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would just worry about catching the ball and just getting upfield. But, I mean, I'm glad it happened. And, I just got that relief. And I'm here now, so I'm good. That's it.
Responded to that, and then coach, they just completely got faith in you and let it ride it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. They just told me just calm down, you good, just go on, move on to the next play. That's all.
Great, Jeremiah, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We'll open it up, Will, right in front of you, Stephen Means with Cleveland.com.
Will, that first half was kind of clunky. As a veteran who's been through this before, when you guys get into the locker room at halftime, what are you saying to your offensive line and to your offense about how that first half went?
Yeah, we one of our goals in this game was to play clean, and I feel like we didn't really do that in the first half. But at the end of the day, we just kind of had to get together and say, settle down, just play our game, don't think about it too much. Don't, let the fact that, it's maybe our first time playing the shoe, got to settle in, and play football. And I think we did a good job of that in the second half. But we definitely need to work on starting a little faster, starting a little better, and not having those mistakes that we had in the first half. Me personally, included in that. And I mean, we built off it, and we came out in the second half and guns a-blazing and did really well. And obviously, a win is a win, and when you win by as much as we did, it's good. And I'm happy that we won. But there's still a lot of stuff to clean up.
Steve Hellwagon, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, first touchdown to Jeremiah. It looks like he makes kind of an adjustment on the ball and turns back shoulder. Just what did you see on that play? What did he do to complete it? And is that an advanced concept for a young guy to be able to make that play?
If he's pressed and it's one-on-one, put it up, and he'll make the play. And that's exactly what he did. I just saw he was pressed, so I tried to put it up over top, and he actually made a little adjustment and came back to it. And I mean, that's all I got to do is just give him a chance, and he's going to do the rest. You guys saw that today.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, the podcast.
Well, Ryan said that nobody needed to say anything to Jeremiah after that drop screen there on the opening drive. Like, is that the case? You just
No, there was no word said. I mean, none of us were worried about him at all. I mean, we were, obviously, it's a drop, it's uncharacteristic, but hey, I made a couple of bad passes, and it's not gonna be perfect, man. But it's that next play mentality. Mental toughness is the ability to move on to the next most important thing, and we knew his maturity level. We weren't worried about it, and he came back and had a great game. So,
Will, over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Well, you've been here 8 months. You probably wondered what it would be like to play in the shoe, just the whole atmosphere. What was it like? How glad are you to have it under your belt?
It's cool, man. It's a pretty freaking cool stadium, and the fans and the band and just I've never been a part of so many different traditions, and I had to learn all these new traditions that we had, and it's cool, man. It's fun. It's it makes it more engaging, for everyone involved, and the skull session and just getting to experience all this stuff that I've heard about for the first time was really fun. And now that I got it all under my belt, it's all right, now I've done it, and now it's, it's business as usual from now on. But it's still cool, and it's still fun to appreciate it, when, I only have 12 opportunities as a Buckeye, guaranteed. And, obviously, hopefully we get 16 or 17, but, I only have so many opportunities as a Buckeye. So I gotta soak it all in and enjoy it while I'm here, man. And it's quite an environment, quite an atmosphere. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Great. Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
You've made it clear before, no disrespect to the guys you played with at Kansas State, but it's a little bit different here with the guys you're throwing to. I guess just, some guys that maybe you wouldn't think would be open. So I guess how did that materialize on the field for you, seeing that in a game, and just how did it feel compared to maybe previous starts?
Yeah, it's a freeing feeling when you can kind of just put the ball up and let those guys make adjustments, and you don't have to be as perfect, and that's nothing against, my guys. I had a ton of playmakers at K-State, and I love those guys, and those guys were making plays for me too. But, I'm just trying to talk about the dudes we got here, man. We got some dudes, and it showed out today. And I think, even, down to the Jaden Ballard and Brandon Innes and Bryson Rogers, we got depth at that position too. It's cool, man. It makes my job easy.
Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Will, was there a moment in this game where you felt like you and the offense kind of settled in?
I don't know if there was a moment. I think that second half when we kind of started rolling a little bit, made a couple things happen. I think we did do some good things in the first half. We made some good plays here and there, but really settling into a rhythm. I think that came in that second half, and we kind of got that ball in the third quarter and started driving a little bit. Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
You guys too? All right. Okay. I was just making sure. Okay, good. All right. But yeah, no. Yeah, okay, good. I feel the sweat coming down my chest right now. But anyway, yeah, I think we settled in that second half, and we're able to go from there. Yeah, I know. I tend to ramble a little bit, so my bad. I see all the fans in the back. Everyone's waving fans.
Over to the right. We'll wrap up here shortly.
It's no worries. It's all good.
Stefan Kreisnick, Cleveland.com.
Well, Coach Day was talking about you guys kind of trying to establish a run a bit there early. What's kind of the thought process, the conversations you're having with Coach Kelly and some of the teammates? Maybe when it's frustrating at the start, but you got to kind of keep that patience and establish the run game.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much you need to say at that point, because we know what we have to do. And, at the end of the day, like for me being the run game, they give me Coach Kelly says all the time, you're the run game coordinator. You got to get us in and out of the right plays. And if we have a call and if we have, something and, someone comes from one side, like you need to make it right. And so part of it's on me. We got to all be working together, all systems, going on the same wavelength. And, I think we did settle in the second half, and, it's first game, we were trying to be conscious of that and play clean. And I think we did better in the second half, but again, like we just need to clean up some of that stuff in the first half and go back and look at the film and move on and grow and learn.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Well, Jeremiah had 6 catches, 9 targets. He led the team in targets. What is it about you two or your chemistry with him that you think allows you guys to click so well in the first game together on the field?
I think, you guys see it. He's pretty darn good at football, first of all. But he understands the game like really well. And, I think there was the third down where I kind of maneuvered a D end that dropped and to get him a ball on a curl, and, just the wherewithal he has to kind of figure out like, hey, maybe just wrap him a little bit in that window. He understands the game very well. And that's, Emeka, Carnell, like those guys understand the game like unbelievably well. Like all of them do. But Jeremiah, he's a dude, man. And if you get him in one-on-one coverage, and he's going to win, and at the end of the day, like this is just a start for him. I'm excited for him. I think we're starting to develop a lot of chemistry, and I'm excited to see, how this season goes for him. And, he's a phenomenal player, and he's going to have quite a few more targets this year, I'm sure.
3 more questions. Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah. Will, I was just wondering what your favorite pass was today. And I was wondering if the one to Carnell Tate would be right in there, because you had him round the fly and he took it to the end zone.
Yeah.
And then the deep one to Jeremiah Smith. I think y'all ran 11 plays in the third quarter and had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. So,
yeah,
but
I
go
don't
ahead.
know. That's a hard one. I don't know if I could pick my favorite throw from today. Probably that fade ball to JJ in the corner of the end zone, or that little peak throw I threw to him in the red zone. Like those two, but the one that Carnell, that I just threw a curl to him and he took it 34 yards for a touchdown. That's pretty easy for me, right? I'm just going through my reads. They go one high. I'm going to the field to my curl, and there he is. He makes my job easy. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that switched or anything crazy. We just settled in a little bit. I think we were just comfortable, and it just kind of things started kind of going our ways. I feel like for me especially, I started kind of taking the game as it came to me and trying to not trying to force things. I think there were a couple of times in the first half where I was just forcing things and trying to make things happen. And with this team, with the guys we have, like the more I can just let the game come to me, it makes my job easy, and we can get rolling.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Will, we're talking about your passing and throwing, but really the sense is what's going to make you different in this offense difference are your legs, your ability to run. Do you have a run mentality in you at all? And you're under center, you go QB sneak. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Just talk about if you can, that attitude.
Absolutely. I think that's a big part of our game as this offense, and what Coach Kelly wants to do. It doesn't even just have to be in the run game. It can be in the pass game too. There were a couple times today where I'm honestly mad at myself that I didn't tuck it down and run. And, sometimes, they came out and showed us a couple of looks that were new, and, that's going to happen in the first game. Credit to them. They come out with a different third down blitz than they've shown in the past. And, they had 9 months to dial it up. So, credit to them. But, the thing is you got to be ready and you got to adapt. But at the end of the day, like for me, it's not just those design quarterback runs. It's more like, hey, if they're in man coverage and everyone's got their back turned, I got to be able to go get upfield and go get us first down. And I think I did that a couple times today, but, for me, it's like, it's getting out of that mode of, it's touch football and in camp, nobody can hit you. Right. So now it's like, oh, okay. I can actually go make some stuff, shake with my legs, and when I kind of realized that, and I think we had that one play action where I went down there and did that. And, the more I can do that, the better. And I just need to do that more, when things aren't perfect down the field, I got to be able to make things happen with my legs. And I think I'm ready to do that. And I want to do that.
And final question over to the right, James Watkins, Cleveland.com.
Well, I won't quiz you on Archie Griffin, but I do want to ask you, why do you think it's important to honor history or historic figures the way you guys did with Archie today?
I think it's really, really important. And, especially with Archie, the only 2-time Heisman winner, he's a legend around here, man. And, the fact that we wore the stickers for him, it shows how much that we care about our tradition and our history and the people that have came before us, and it shows that, you don't forget about those greats before you, and you remember it. And that's why we're doing it. A lot of the reason we're doing these things are for the people that, they came before us, the people that are here now and the people that are going to come after us. And, it's carrying on that Buckeye legacy, looking at guys like Archie Griffin, that are legends, being able to put on the scarlet and gray just like they did is an honor and a privilege.
Great. Will, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Go Bucks.